Good morning. Do you know the number one thing that holds people back? This is what we're going to be talking about today in this live stream. When we're business owners and we need to show up and then be our best self on camera, in person, on podcast, we literally need to do just that. Keep showing up. Most of my clients, when they first come to me, they've been doing the opposite for a really long time. They've been using avoidance strategies. So, for instance, last night in my webinar, I'm holding another webinar this morning, my very last one for the entire year. So, if this is going to be an issue for you, if you know that you're holding yourself back somehow, I'm so glad that you've tuned in this morning because this is going to help. When I was holding my webinar last night, I had a lot of people on that webinar, but only less than half of them put their cameras on. Now, look, I understand if you're in your PJs and you've got kids running around or the light's really bad or something like that. Absolutely. But I know for a fact, because I teach so many people around the world, that that's not the issue. Most of the time, they're just afraid of being seen and being heard. And this is why people come to me in the first place. It's a massive fear for people. So today I'm going to take you through a few steps of what happens to your life and your business when you keep living from that perspective. And I'm also going to show you what that came from. Once we understand the root causes of these blockages, we can actually smash through them and move through to a better way. If you don't know me this morning, hi, I'm going live across lots of platforms. My name is Elisa James. I'm a holistic voice coach and a presentation coach, and I help people from all walks of life speak with confidence, clarity, and conviction on stage, on camera, and on podcast. My passion is absolutely your voice. Your voice matters. Your voice is given to you for a reason. So I'm very passionate about you finding your true, authentic voice of confidence so you can live a better life. And that's the bottom line for me. Look, I was a performer for 35 years and I've traveled all over the world. I did it full time, singing, acting, dancing, speaking, presenting, all sorts of things. I lived off my voice for more than 40 years of my career. And what I found is this: when I was starting my career and I was in the first, say, 10, 15 years of being a professional performer on camera, on stage, I noticed that there was a lot of issues that I was still struggling with, if you like, my demons that were really stopping me from expressing myself. And as I became a coach later on in my life, I realized that if those demons were holding me back, I wonder how many other people they're holding back too. So I'm going to dive into these core things, these core issues that sometimes get locked into our nervous system. They get locked into our muscle memory. And then we make all sorts of excuses about why we shouldn't show up. Every excuse under the sun. And believe me, I've used all of them. And I remember this one thing from one of my beautiful mentors who's been with me across my life. And you'll see his live, in fact, on one of my channels. On the Voice of Confidence TV. You're watching this on the Voice of Confidence TV if you're on YouTube. And you'll see that one of my mentors from years ago, Peter Northcote, who is a brilliant musician, told me this one thing that changed my life. Darling, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be at the highest level. You've just got to keep showing up time and time and time again. When I learned that from that wonderful man at the very young age of, say, 17, when I was extremely nervous, I was so nervous that I would stand behind the horn section with my microphone and try to hide so the audience couldn't see me. I mean, that's how bad it was for me. And he said, look, just keep showing up, and keep showing up. He said, that's how you build a reputation. That's how you build a body of work. That's how people start to see you and hear you and experience what you have to offer the world. So I did that little by little by little. I just kept showing up. And you know what? I wasn't the Celine Dion of this world. I wasn't the Whitney Houston of this world, but I was a good singer. Not great, but really good and very strong and very dependable. And I kept showing up, not because I was the best, but because I wanted to reach my goals. I wanted to fulfill my dreams. You just have to find that braveness, guys. You just have to find that braveness inside yourself and force yourself. Sometimes, yes, that's true. Sometimes we have to be disciplined and just make the choice. Mel Robbins calls it making a promise to yourself. If you make a promise to yourself to go to the gym, you'll do it. If you make a promise to yourself, make a commitment out to the universe in front of other people, they will help you stay accountable to your goals. That's why people hire me as a coach. This is the biggest reason why people have a coach. I have a coach too, because it helps me stay accountable to my own goals and dreams that I claimed that I want. It's very easy without a coach to hide and use avoidance as a strategy. Been there, done that. It does not work. So let's have a look at the comments just here. We've got a few people coming in. Hello, I am reading them. It is lovely to see you guys here. Welcome to the show. It's lovely to see you guys here. If you're on Facebook, you will be able to comment underneath. If you allow StreamYard to see my comments, then you'll absolutely be able to, I can show those on the screen, just like Chris, who is tuning in from Belgium. Good morning, good morning, Chris. Great. We've got Shahbaz Rocket, who is joining us from YouTube. So yes, we're going to talk about nerves and what goes on with the vocal process in a moment. Fantastic. Simple Happy Life has joined us. Hello, hello. It's nice to see you. And also the Freedom Cartoon Network. Welcome back. It's lovely to see you here. Yes, I'm reading the comments. They were coming in so fast. I absolutely missed them. Freedom is from Dubai. Welcome. We have lots of people who join us from Dubai. And good morning to Ice. Thank you. Thank you. I love this question. We're going to jump into some content right now, but let's first have a look at this. Simple Happy Life. How can I talk with authority without sounding harsh and be nice to listen to? That is such a brilliant question. So let's actually answer that one first. The sound of authority, I call it the sound of leadership or the sound of authority. There are two sides to this equation, okay? The very first one is the actual sound of your voice. If the sound of your voice is strong, if it's stable, if it's at the right pitch, if it's aesthetically pleasing and strong at the same time, you're going to automatically sound more confident and strong. That will give you the sound of leadership and the sound of authority. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to go overboard and have that sort of voice because that sounds aggressive. When we're pushing the voice too hard or being too loud consistently, that's going to turn people off. And that will sound annoying and aggressive. So you don't want to be turning people off and sounding annoying and aggressive. So here's the cure for that side of the equation. This is part one, Simple Happy Life. This is part one. When you're loud and high and yelling at people and keeping the same pitch over and over and over again like this, it just sounds like I'm trying too hard and I'm trying to project my voice too much and there's no prosody. Prosody is musical inflection. When you use prosody, it changes up the sound of the voice so much more, so it becomes a musical instrument instead of a trumpet with the same pitch bearing into your brain. So if you're going to be loud and you want to be powerful and confident, by all means, use a higher pitch and a higher volume for a short time. Then I want you to lower the pitch, slow down the pace, and lower the volume also. That change, that tonal change, that vocal variety will make you sound so much more interesting. Oh, you are so sweet. It's lovely to have you here. So true. like a Baptist preacher. Thanks, Tony, for joining us today. Yeah, aren't preachers good at that? Well, some preachers. Well, yes, some charismatic preachers who've done a lot of work on themselves and are able to speak with confidence, clarity, and conviction and authenticity when they speak. Now, I have trained a lot of ministers in the United States. I used to not work for, but I used to coach ministers in training for the Unity Church, worldwide ministries in America. And a lot of those people had never been on stage, never held a microphone, never been on camera. This was a big issue for them to get over. So in the beginning, they were absolutely not good speakers. They would be flatline and very boring and monotone. And that is a sign of shyness and insecurity. That flat tone, it doesn't serve anyone, and it certainly doesn't serve you. So I'm going to show you exactly how these types of things manifest. Oh, the second part of the equation, getting back to a simple, happy life. His question was, how do I talk with authority without sounding harsh? The first part of the equation is the aesthetics, the sound of your voice that will make people listen and have a very strong tone. It makes you sound confident. The second part of the equation, which is just as important, is how you're structuring your sentences. If you are structuring your sentences in a very rambly, long, convoluted way, people won't listen. So I'm going to dive in now to the reasons why these things manifest in the first place. So let's just move back over to the to the banners for a second. This is the number one thing that keeps people back. This is the very number one thing that holds people back is the mindset, is not showing up. When we don't show up, it's not because you've got a voice issue. It's because there's something going on inside you that says, it's not safe to speak up. This is where it comes from. Mostly familial conditioning and cultural conditioning. A lot of people that I work with all around the world, whether they're ESL speakers or English as a first language speaker, a lot of people have struggles with this. It's because in their culture, they grew up in a situation where children were seen and not heard. So what did they learn as children? To shut your mouth, to be quiet, to hold your jaw, to hold your breath. Don't speak because you might get into trouble. You might say the wrong thing. You might be criticized or judged. If that's in your cultural upbringing, but it's not pertinent to you anymore, then you can fix it. This is a very big part of all my coaching programs. If you want help with that, please just put below. There's a secret word that we're going to use today, and it's this. It's time. If you want to get some of these issues fixed, and please type in the chat what issues that you're fixing, because I use a lot of really great strategies in my mentoring program, which helps people break through their blockages to self-expression. If it's time for you to get this sorted, please just put that secret word below. It's time. And I'll show you how we're going to do that today. So the very first part that holds people back is the family conditioning. Now, if you know that that's been an issue for you and you've moved out of that, say, shut down situation, then it's time to change. It's time to take control of your own life, especially if you've moved to a country where freedom of speech is encouraged. You're allowed to speak up and out for yourself here. You're allowed to have a voice. You need a voice. If you're in work, people need to hear your voice and they need to have some sort of connection and communication with you. It is super important. It's up to you to find your best voice and bring that to the world so you can make the world a better place. One voice at a time. Your voice matters. So please know that from inside your being, there's a reason that you're here. Your voice matters. Now, when we have familial conditioning and cultural conditioning, it can also manifest as a tension pattern. A tension pattern usually results in a few things. If you have a tension pattern because you've been shut down and you're used to holding your tongue, shutting your jaw, you're going to probably have a very tight jaw. Maybe you don't open your mouth very much when you speak, so you might sound a bit mumbly. It's very hard for people to understand you if you keep your mouth shut when you're speaking. Another thing that can manifest is tension in the throat. If your tummy is tight from nerves or anxiety, I'm tightening my tummy up right now. See what happens? Right away, my voice is arrested. And literally what's happening is my vocal folds are now squeezed together because of my throat muscles squeezing tension, and I can't breathe. When somebody speaks with that strangled way, it stops us from fully expressing ourselves. We need that beautiful airflow to come up and vibrate the vocal folds so we can sing and speak and express and do whatever we want with our voice. We have to have the airflow. So if you feel yourself shutting down, take a big belly breath. Let go of that tension because you've got this. You can control this. It does not control you ever. I want you to remember that. Let's have a quick look at the comments. Choice. Yes, it's by choice. Absolutely. We can choose not to let this affect us anymore and do something about it. Join my team. Yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely. I will look for it on YouTube later on in the day when I get a break today. Yes, good morning. Good morning. It's time for me, and I've already started to break through. Chris, yes, it is. And I'm so glad that you're in the class because you can see every single week people are improving. Every single week people are showing up more and feeling good about it. Many people in the very first week, they don't show up. They turn they don't turn the cameras off in class because it's not allowed. But when you do your homework inside the private Facebook practice space, some people drag their feet because that first week is hard. You have to face your fears. It's hard for everyone, not just you. It's hard for everyone, but it's okay. It was hard for me too. We all can get over this. So I'm so glad you're here. So the first one that we talked about is the cultural conditionings and being shut down. The second one is the tension patterns and what that creates in your body. Now, here are the disempowering vocal sounds that are actually created because of the family and familial conditioning. The very first one is when the voice starts to get strong and then trails out to nothing. This happens to a lot of men and women who were shut down very early in life. That trail off, I call it, it's spoken word that is quite clear at first until you run out of air and run out of confidence, and then it disappears. You can hardly hear somebody at the end of their sentence. If you can't hear somebody, the problem is people are not going to be able to pay attention because your voice is not strong enough all the way to the end. There are so many patterns that will disempower you, and that is one of the biggest ones that I see. The next thing is speaking in a rambly tone, connecting all your sentences together. This is again from a familial conditioning and cultural conditioning. Many people speak like that because they have to get all the words out of their mouth as fast as they can because somebody will shut them down and they won't be able to finish their sentence. It's a huge issue. If that's you, you need to disarm the nervous system. You need to calm down that voice. You need to calm down the breath. Sit up straight, shoulders back, ears over your shoulders, and start to present to the world forward with confidence and energy. You've got this. You can do this. It's all familial conditioning and cultural conditioning. So the biggest thing, the number one thing that holds people back from being a good speaker or presenter is not the voice. It's the psychology. That's why in all of my classes, I always start with psychology behind the sound. We analyze everybody's voice and we find out what patterns of speech are holding you back. Because perception is everything. And if people perceive you to be insecure or not an expert in your field because of the way you speak, they're going to treat you differently. Perception is everything. If you're a leader, you need to sound like a leader. If you're a manager, you need to sound like a manager. If you're a hypnotherapist, you need to sound like a hypnotherapist. Vocal branding is what I call it, and it is super important for all of us to learn. Let's just go back to the comments. Yes, Chris said, I'm really glad I took that significant step. What I love about Chris is in one of my classes, the 12-week mentoring program for public speaking confidence. And when she saw a webinar of mine a couple of months ago, she was one of those people that went, yes, it's time. It's time that I actually got this sorted. I really, really admire Chris and people like that, because a lot of people, when they come up, they just go to live after live, or they buy course after the course, or they go to free webinar after free webinar to try to look for answers. But the problem is the answers are there, but you have to take the next step. You actually have to say yes to yourself. When I learned that 20 odd years ago, my life changed. I spent the first 20 years of my career not saying yes to myself. I said, maybe I shouldn't, blah, 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 coming up with all these excuses about why I couldn't do something. But you know what? That's just me arguing for my own limitations. That's just me playing small. That's just me staying stuck and making up excuses why I can't do something. Oh, it's all right for you. You've got more confidence. Well, you know what? Confidence is a skill. Public speaking is a skill. We can learn this as a skill. I teach this to my students all the time. There's nothing about talent in public speaking. Talent is not required. It's a skill set that you learn. If you've been gifted a voice box and you have a brain and you have a face and lips and eyes and teeth and you can communicate, it's just a skill that you can learn, and anyone can learn public speaking skills. When you do, it completely changes your life, because suddenly you go from fearful to fearless in every single situation. And that happened to me. I used to be so nervous when I was going on stage. Oh my God, I would be sick, literally sick all day before a show. All day. I would torture myself. And guess what we focus on when we're nervous? Us and the nerves and how bad it is and all the things that could go wrong, because we're human and we're trying to stay alive. We're trying to avoid being hurt or humiliated or embarrassed. And I totally get that. But if you're in the right place today, if you're hearing this and you're thinking from the inside, there's something I need to change. If there's something you need to change, then please type the word below. It's a secret word for today: time. I don't care if you're watching this on the replay. If you're watching this on the replay and your heart is saying it's time to change, just pop in the comments below on whatever platform you're watching, it's time. And I will reach out to you and we'll book a free consultation so I can help you get through that blockage to self-expression, whatever that is. And Chris and I are in our beautiful support group on Facebook. Once you're in our fold and in our tribe, you get 100% support. Nobody's left behind and everybody supports each other as they're growing these skills. It is so phenomenal. I just love, love, love seeing people grow. So that's what we've got for you today. If you're interested in having a look about what's available, you'll see underneath this video, we're going to post the Linktree link. So you'll see that it's just Linktree, Elisa James, and there's everything on there. There's lots of free stuff. The channel, of course, is the Voice of Confidence TV on YouTube. There's loads of great content there for you to start. You can also book in a free consultation if you're ready for training. If you're not ready for training, then just go to my YouTube channel. If you're looking for free classes today at 10 o'clock Sydney time, which is in 1 hour from now, I'm going to be doing a 2-hour masterclass on public speaking. If you would like that, then just put its time below and my beautiful assistant Ice will PM you the private link to join our masterclass at 10 a.m. this morning. Now, if you're watching this too late on the replay and you've missed out, no worries at all. Just go to the Linktree link and you'll find lots of places where you can start. Okay, so don't give up on yourself, please. This is life and life is short. Make the most of the dash. When you go to a graveyard, you know how you see a gravestone and the gravestone has somebody's name, maybe yours in the future, and it's got the date that you were born and the date that you died. In between, there's a dash. Here's the date you were born. This is the date you die. The dash is life. That's all we have. So please make the most of the dash. Let's check the comments just quickly before I jump off today. Yes. Oh, yes, please. Hashtag it's time. That's a great idea, Ice. And that way I know that you're serious about getting this sorted and you're one of the few action takers in the world. Did you know, just on that point, I think it's more than 90% of the world are afraid of public speaking. There's millions of people around the world afraid of being seen and heard. They're afraid of public speaking, but only 8% of those people actually step up and do something about it. I was one of those people. My life changed because I said yes to myself. I said, it's time to get this sorted. And I found mentors along the way that could help me do that. So if you're ready, sorry, I've got hair in my face. I need a haircut. If you if you are ready to get this sorted, put hashtag it's time. Thank you, Ice. Chris, yes, and we have new content coming, Chris. Oh my goodness, I am shooting my brand new course to get people more confident on camera. I'm doing that right now, and that's going to be going up on all platforms, and all of my current students have free access to that brand new content, and I'm shooting a mini course for YouTube as well. My students right now have free access to that content. My students who join in the next intake won't have access to that content. Awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, exactly, Ice. This is the problem. Some people would rather die or catch a spider than do public speaking. It's true. It's absolutely true. Don't let this hold you back. I don't want to catch spiders anytime soon, but I tell you, if I'm on a stage with a microphone these days, I love it. You know why? Because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I can share and help the world with, and I know that you are too. If you're passionate about helping people, if you're a coach, a trainer, a teacher of some sort, your gift is right here. Your voice can help change the world. And even if you only change one person in your entire life, oh my God, that tiny little seed that you've planted in one person can then be spread to many other people. The favorite thing of mine is to get a notice, a messenger message out of the blue from a student that I taught 10 years ago in America. And this literally happens very often. And then they might say, I don't know if you remembered me, but 10 years ago, you taught me in your studio in Florida, in the United States, and blah, blah, blah. And they take me through this whole scenario of what happened in their life over the next 10 years. And then they thank me for changing their life. Do you know how that feels? It's so amazing to know. I'm getting all teary about this. It's so amazing to know that you can change somebody's life. They can help them move into another direction. It's like the best feeling in the entire world. And you can do that too. That's why we're here, to help other humans. So please, with your voice, with your message, start building more bridges. Stop putting up walls. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Connect with other human beings just like you. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Oh, Rana, thank you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you've enjoyed the live today. So since you're here, while you're looking at this, what do you think of this new camera? I just spent some money on a new camera. It was about $250. I think it actually improves the look of the StreamYard. I will go and check this on my YouTube channel because I use the built-in camera from my Mac the last whole year. And then I thought, you know what, maybe a camera upgrade is a really good idea. So I'd love to know below, compared to my other old camera, is this a better look? We're just looking for cleaner lines. Oh yeah, it's good. Awesome. Thank you. I thought it might have improved the quality of the screen, but StreamYard only allows me to stream in 720. So I'm not quite sure if you're still going to get, the maximum impact. And Chris says, great camera. Awesome. So that's good to know. This is a Logitech Brio 4K something. Yeah. Oh, great, Chris. Thanks for letting me know. Yay. Because I bought this camera to start doing my new online courses. I want to do it very simply, just directly here into my computer. Awesome. I'm happy about that. Yeah, great. Oh, good to know. All right, I played with my camera this morning. I love that. I love tech when I know how to use it. I am signing off. I have a big webinar to present in 1 hour. If you want to be there, put "it's time" below, hashtag "it's time," and we'll shoot you that link today. It's a free masterclass for 2 hours on how to get confident with public speaking. Everybody's worst nightmare. But once you learn to love it, you will absolutely love it. I'm here to help. I'll see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.